Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Retrograde Mysore, and today we are discussing about the Saturn which is getting retrograde in the sign of Pisces. That is actually on today, 27th of July 2026 until 11th of December 2026. So it's a long period of time that Saturn will be retro. August, September, October, November, and partial of December. So there are 4 days in July. So we all know that Saturn becoming retrograde is a very important point in transit. And I have not done the transit classes, but today let us talk what are the effects on all the 12 signs of the zodiac and what they will experience. One thing you should understand here, that the lordship of Saturn in the native's horoscope is very important. In any horoscope, like in your horoscope, if Saturn is the 8th lord and the 9th lord, because it is, if you have the ascendant sign of Gemini, then the lordship counts. The 8th lord and the 9th lord transiting in the 10th house retrograde. That is how you have to take it. In the advanced level, you will have to take the bhavat bhava position, that the 8th lord has moved 3 positions or 4 positions, 8, 9, 10, 3 positions. So the 9th lord has moved 1 position, 9, 10. So 2 positions, sorry. So 8th has moved 3 positions, 9th has moved 2 positions. So you need to see all these positions and then consider the retrogression effect of Saturn for every ascendant. Like if I say Virgo ascendant, so Saturn becomes the 5th and the 6th lord transiting the 7th house retrograde for these, 4.5 months or between 27th July and 11th December. So you need to understand the lordship. That is the first point. Second point is that whether in your horoscope Saturn is direct or retrograde. So you need to see that will be mentioned. If it is not mentioned, then what you should do to understand whether a planet was retrograde or not. So this is a very easy way to do it. So if you are born, for example, on 1st January, and you don't know whether the planet, you don't know which planet is retrograde in your chart, then see the exact degree, minutes and seconds of the planet which is printed. You generate a chart and see the exact degree, minutes and seconds of the planet. You generate another chart for the same timing for the previous date. Generate another chart for the same timing for the next date. Keep all the 3 charts with you. So let us say Saturn on 1st of Jan was at 20 degrees and 26 minutes and 30 seconds. 20 degrees, 26 minutes and 30 seconds in a particular sign, any sign. And the previous day, it was 19 degrees, or sorry, it will not be that much. It will be 20 degrees, 26 minutes and some 18 seconds or something. It is 30 seconds, 18 seconds. It will only run in seconds. So then you can clearly know that, okay, previous day it was less, today it is high. That means it is incremental. So if it is incremental, that means Saturn is moving. You can take the next days also and see the average movement between one day to another day and calculate the average movement per day and multiply it to 2.5 years and see whether it covers 30 degrees. If it is covering more than 30 degrees, that means Saturn is moving fast. If it is covering very much less than 30 degrees, that means Saturn is moving slow. But if it is in the reverse order, that means if Saturn was on 1st January at 20 degrees, 26 minutes and 30 seconds, and on 2nd January, it is at 20 degrees, 26 minutes and 19 seconds or 15 seconds, that means Saturn is moving reverse. You can confirm by taking the 31st December position also. And again, you can do the same operation as to what is the speed of Saturn. Speed of Saturn in ephemeris has been given as this is the degree speed it has to move per day, or he will give it per month, or he will give it for per year. So but usually they will have given it per day movement. Every daily movement they will tell this many seconds it has to move. So you can understand the speed and you can calculate the percentage of increase of speed. So I have taught you how to understand how to calculate the speed. Easier way to go to the ephemeris or go to the direct online software and check the degrees. So why am I teaching all this is because if there is a direct Saturn in a native's chart, now the Saturn is becoming retro, there will be sudden changes in life. There will be a lot of things which will suddenly happen. Things which were going straight will suddenly become it will go U-turn. You can have a sudden life-changing experience in this period of time, and don't get panic. If you hold your horse and hold your direction, you can move ahead after these 4.5 months of struggle. But you need to hold. It's very difficult to hold. Many people succumb to the pressure, what is coming from the job, what is coming from, we'll understand all this depending on the position of the planet. And if a person is already having a retro Saturn in the chart, and you were having direct Saturn, you were going through a lot of struggle. So now there is a retro Saturn which is happening for 4.5 months. Suddenly, things which were not moving, things which were not happening. Let us say there was no visa stamping pending, it was not happening. Suddenly you will get a clearance. So these things can happen. So you need to understand whether you have a retro Saturn in your chart, whether you have a direct Saturn in your chart. The speed of Saturn is very important as per your chart, because Saturn is now becoming, it is in the dead. It is dead. That is Dagda. That is, there is zero speed. It will come to the zero speed and then change its direction towards what we call as Kumbharashi. It will not go into the Kumbharashi, but it will turn towards Kumbharashi backwards. So it is all, see, in the orbit, Saturn is moving normally only. Saturn is moving normally. But it is becoming retro because if this is Sun, and if this is Earth, if this is Sun and if this is Earth, if I take this as Earth and this as Sun, center point of the pencil as the Sun, the normal, I'll put a perpendicular line in the center of the Sun, and if I take this Earth, then Saturn has crossed this place. It has crossed this place. Now Saturn is coming somewhere here and it is moving somewhere here within this arc. That means Saturn is now not behind the Sun, it is towards the Earth. So that is how it becomes retro, because Earth is also moving, Saturn is also moving. So Earth, if it is moving here and Saturn is here, you are having a particular nakshatra, and Saturn moves slow, Earth will move faster, you will have another nakshatra. So you feel like as though Saturn is moving backwards. You feel like Saturn is moving backwards. Saturn will come here, it will come here. See, Saturn is moving here and Earth is here, and you have a line that it is in particular nakshatra. Earth moves faster, so you have a line here. So you feel that no, Saturn is moving backwards because Earth is moving faster than Saturn. So that is what happens. So it's all perspective. That is from Earth, keeping geocentric perspective. So let us move on to Aries. So, okay, interrupting this particular thing. I have explained retrogression on a sheet of paper in my very old video, I think in 2021. I'll attach that video for all those people who would want to know what is retrogression of planet. In a very layman language, I've explained it by keeping stones colored with, my son colored all those stones into different colors and planets, and I have done that. I have used it on my table. So you will like it because it's a very easy way to understand what is retrogression. So I will attach this in the end screen. So please wait for that video on the end screen. Watch the whole video and then go there and click that, and you can watch that video to understand what is planetary retrogression and how does it happen. There is no results there. It will only tell you how does a planet get retrograde and why. So Aries, for all those who are born in Aries, Saturn is the 10th and the 11th lord, a very strong 10th lord, Karmakaraka. And because it is transiting retro in the 12th from Aries, the results are travel because of job and outstation posting for projects. And it is something like, for 3 or 4 months because of this particular retrogression period, medical, on-site posting, what we tell. Some people want to go on-site and they are not getting on-site. This is a very good time. And it can continue also after the retrogression. It doesn't mean that once the retrogression is done that you are coming back. Nothing like that. So medical expenses are seen, and be careful with regard to danger of mishap or accidents which might result in fracture in any of your limb. So be careful there. So for Taurus, the 11th transit, which is a great transit of Saturn, being the 9th and the 10th lord or Yogakara command, it's a fantastic placement for Saturn to transit in the 11th house. So usually if you see the transits of Saturn, the 3rd, the 6th and the 11th houses of transit of Saturn is always very good. So unexpected promotion, getting rights on ancestral property. What a big thing to happen, because it is the 9th and the 10th lord and in the 11th house. And why do you get this ancestral property and all those things in the 11th house? That is because it is the 4th from the 8th house. So for Taurus, the 8th house is Sagittarius, and from Sagittarius 8, 9, 10, 11. So that is Pisces. So that is where Saturn is transiting retrograde. So people can get very good ancestral property. So if now, as I said, that Saturn is already retro in your chart and it's become retro, then you can see very good positive results. And if it is direct in your chart and now it is retro, you can see unexpected hurdles and difficulties. So you should understand this. There is sudden happening, things will happen. So 10th transit for Gemini ascendant or Gemini moon, wherever it is posited. For ascendant, you need to take the physical attributes of the results. For moon, from moon, you will have to take the superficial, that is the emotional, psychological attributes. Okay, spiritual, intellectual attributes you have to take. You have to take here. For Gemini, it is the 8th and the 9th lord, and it is transiting the 10th house. Not such a great transit, but it's okay. Confusion in sticking to the job. Best would be to stay in the job. Don't get perturbed because of the situations. Don't get shaken because of the situations and simply leave your job. 4.5 months, you can hold tight, your breath tight, and be in the job, because this is not a great situation. Mundane astrology tells that the market is not that good to leave the job. So, starting of startups is seen, do only if you are doubly sure about what you are doing. Expenses due to mother's ill health, mostly breathing difficulties, are seen. So it is exactly transiting opposite to the 4th house for a Gemini ascendant. So it will show difficulties of several things in nature, even urinary tract infections, or old mother might be ailing and you will have to, give some external help like support, like you need a nurse at home, or you need something like catheters or something like that. So hospitalization and expenses towards protecting mother's health is seen. So for Cancer ascendant, it is the 9th transit, being the 7th and the 8th lord. 9th transit, once again, as the 10th transit, it's just a okay transit. It is not very bad, but it's not that great. Once again, layoffs can be seen. Beware. That means, what can you do to be beware of? Beware in the sense that if at all you are getting the vibe that you are going to get a layoff, it can happen, or you are getting that news, because it spreads. News spreads. It's very rare. Like I have seen some cases, like one of the software companies suddenly laid off. They did not even give it was a dream job for many people. Morning they get a pink slip. layoffs happen. So, but in this case, I don't think you are going to get a pink slip just like that on the security gate. No, you will not get that, but you will get that vibe because it's a big period of 4.5 months. You get August, September, October, November, and this and that. If I add, it's 4.5 months. So, if you are getting a vibe, then look out for a good job because in this period of time, there is a chance that you can go through a layoff or you can be put on the bench if you are a software engineer. And for senior citizens, it's good for travel, for pilgrimage. See, a person in the job can sit idle or he can also go around for a pilgrimage, which is very rare that I have not seen people when they get layoff, they will not take, the mindset will not be positive, telling that, okay, I got a layoff. Let me take this as a sabbatical for 1 year. Let me go out on a pilgrimage or go out on a foreign tour. Let me have a good time with my family. No, they will go into panic mode. Till night 2 o'clock, they will be applying everywhere in the country or everywhere in the world. Panic is not required. Things will all settle down very fast here. So, father of the native might go through financial losses due to wrong investment or unnecessarily, people will do manipulation, they will con him or rob, steal. So, has to be careful with regard to health issues also for the father of the native. For Leo, that is Simha Rashi, 8th transit, that is the 6th and the 7th Lord, it is for Simha Rashi people. That is, when the ascendant is in the Simha Rashi, it is the 6th and the 7th Lord. Not at all a good transit. But still, in this transit, you will understand who are real good friends for you and who are actually not your great friends. Very rarely, every year this transit happens, but in this case, because it is Pisces, where Saturn is transiting, the complete sign, Pisces, and it's a very good sign. And when Saturn is transiting there and just about to come to Aries, it can suddenly dislodge a great belief and trust between relationships because they will show their real color. No, it can happen. So conflict with family is seen. Beware. The native himself can go through health problems and particularly related to the liver and the kidney because it is the 6th Lord transiting in the 8th house. Deha Kashta Yoga, temporarily the yoga is not permanent. Do not get into litigations because it is the 8th house and wait till Saturn becomes direct. Don't put a case also or don't get caught up in a case. Don't argue with people. Keep quiet. This is not a great time to get involved into any kind of litigation, arguments, or any kind of inquiries. This is not a good time. So let us go to Virgo, that is Kanya Rashi. 7th transit is happening. It is the 5th and the 6th Lord. See, 7th transit, you should be aware that 7th house represents relationships, professional growth. It also business. It is business, short travels, and also some good happy travels like honeymoons. 7th house, man. So you need to understand that the 5th and the 6th Lord, 5th Lord is the Lord of romance. It is transiting in the 7th house. There are many good opportunities that you people can get married in this period of time. But be careful if it is an unconventional marriage because it's Saturn retrograde. See that you have people behind you to support. Don't run away and unnecessarily get married without support. So, business travel and initial expenses in setting up a business is seen in this period of time for Virgo. Do not get into arguments with spouse, 7th house. Luxury expenditure is very high. Once again, the expenditure happens because it is actually directly aspecting the ascendant, it is aspecting the 4th house, it is aspecting the 9th house. So travel and expenses are seen. So students having a direct Saturn might go through anxiety and fear. Best would be to stay away from gadgets and have 8 hours of good sleep. So rest is important. In the time of stress, the best thing to do is do nothing, get rest. So because doing something unnecessary experimentation, if you will go through panic. So better take good rest and keep the nights silent rather than unnecessarily making it too stressful and heavy. It will only be more dangerous to you because you will forget what you have studied and you will not be able to do best in your examinations. This is for the students who are born with the ascendant sign of Virgo or with the moon in Virgo. So, Libra, sixth transit is happening. That is, it is the fourth and the fifth lord, which is a Yoga Karaka. Fantastic placement of Saturn in the sixth house. It's great, but it is retrograde. So, people who are having a retro Saturn in their chart, it's very good for them when it becomes retrograde. People who are having a direct Saturn, lot of changes in life. So, careful in partnership. A right partner will help you in growing in business or will also help you grow new business also in the future coming days if you get married in this particular period of time. Foreign travel is seen, growth is seen, but little extra effort would be required because the workload will increase. So that means back-bending work or back-breaking work will be there in this period of time. Take up the challenge, take good rest, work, eat, sleep. Good for you for 4.5 months, because after that, when it becomes direct, and if you are having a direct Saturn and you are going through this tough time of work, you will 100% get a very good promotion after when it becomes direct, because it's a Yoga Karaka. When it becomes direct and you have a direct Saturn in your chart, it should help you after it, recovers from the retrogression and becomes direct. For Scorpio, it is the fifth transit, and it is the third and the fourth lord for Scorpio. It's a very good lord for Scorpio, being the third lord in the fifth house. So, third, matlab, it is, sorry, I got the Hindi word. Third means from Scorpio, it is 1, 2, and 3. That is, it is the lord of Capricorn. From Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So 1, 2, and 3. So it is the third from the third. So for the third house, it's an excellent position that Saturn is in the fifth house. But again, for retro, double retro, great. For retro, for a direct, it's retro, sudden changes. I'm explaining it many times, repeating it, because you should not go into a mistake of understanding that whatever is saying will fully happen. So do not do sudden investments, chances of putting in yourself, putting the money into a loss making project is seen. So that means whatever it is, whether your Saturn is retro or direct in your chart, be careful in investments in this period of time. Expenses for furthering children, so education is seen abroad. So very, very good chance of people going and settling into cold places or cold countries. People means children going and settling into cold countries. The subtropical areas is seen. So people in relationships should avoid conflicts and arguments. It is once again applicable here because it is the fifth transit. The transit is happening in the house of romance for Scorpio. We don't want unnecessarily, anybody to go through breakups. You have come together, have the commitment, and live together. So that you should show. So for Sagittarius, it is the fourth transit, the second and the third lord for Sagittarius. So beware of parents' health. Kutumba Sthanadipati, that is the lord of the house of family, and it is retrograde in the fourth house. It is Sukhasthana for the native, that is comfortable living. So you are going to go through discomfort for a certain period of time. So you should be careful because there is discomfort at home or for home affairs, unnecessary expenses of maintenance of equipments. Do not invest in real estate in a hurry. Do a double check, get a lawyer's, authorization or what we call as a lawyer's advice, and then go for it. Okay. Wait till Saturn becomes direct if you are having a direct Saturn in your chart. Tension at both workplace at home is seen. So it's not a great time for people who are born in Sagittarius or Dhanur Rashi. or Dhanur Lagna. For Capricorn, that is Makar Rashi or Makar Lagna, the Saturn is the Lagnadipati. It is the first lord and the second lord, transiting the third house. What a great transit it is for Capricorn. Whether it is direct or retro, the planet is to give good things. But there are U-turns which can happen for the best or the worst, depending on how the Saturn is positioned in your chart. I have been explaining that. So frequent short travels are seen. Going far away from place of birth is also seen. Change of residence is seen. So that means there is change of base. So whether if you are, let us say, somewhere staying in Bangalore, sudden change, getting a job in Noida or Gurgaon, or getting a job somewhere in Amritsar, Punjab, we are going latitudes. You are changing a lot of meridians. You are crossing, longitudinally and latitudinally. You are going far away. So that is seen, and it might be for good, but it might not be so easy for you for the first 4 months. You need to go there, settle down, then see whether the family can be set up. All these things can happen. And for students, you may face difficulty in understanding subject and focus is required. Saturn transiting in the third house, you need to focus hard. So don't be, casual, because third house means activity, and in the house of activity you are having an impatient Saturn, which is going to give you tension and anxiety. So don't get into anxiety and tension, because Saturn wants you to get into anxiety and tension. So you should fight that. So if you are fighting that, that means you have to keep yourself peaceful. Okay. For Aquarius, the Lagnadipati, the ascendant lord, is also the 12th lord, is transiting the second house. So money can get locked up. That is, capital investment can simply get locked up. That you go put money into an apartment flat, because it's the second lord, right? It's aspecting the fourth house. It's the first lord transiting the second house, aspecting the fourth house. How? Saturn is in Pisces, and it is aspecting the third aspect, that is Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. And from Aquarius, Taurus is the fourth house. So there is a very good chance that you will be thinking that, okay, I have got some money in my hand, let me put it in this project. Be doubly sure that the project is a good handled, well known, recognized, and approved project. Don't simply put money because somebody told and somebody's friend told. Don't do that. You will get caught up with a loss which you will be crying for a number of years. You will not get the money back. You are not getting the apartment, flat. It will be difficult for you. So think twice before lending money or investing. Silence is better than conflict for people who are having a transit in the second house. Opt for a VRS if you are having the chance and you have done very good service. You are, let us say, 56 or 57 years of service. If you are getting a good golden handshake and you are getting extra amount because you are going to come out of the company, this is a very good option for going for a voluntary retirement scheme if you are nearing the senior citizen bracket. Careful with regard to food poisoning, Annasthana, the house of food. That is where Saturn is. So minimize eating outside. Eat home food. So Pisces, it is transiting over your head. That means Garbhagata Shani. That is what we call it. Garbhagata. That we in English, when we say that Saturn has impregnated Pisces. That is what is called Garbhagata Shani. So that is entered into it. So panic, it being the 11th and the 12th lord transiting over the sign of Pisces, panic and depression may prevail because of fear and anxiety. Show confidence. If you are having fear and anxiety or depression, please take counseling. Oral counseling is very, very important. There are many good life coaches and mentors available nowadays. Go for a good psychological counseling. You will get that peace of mind and that positivity to fight and live life stronger and better. So unnecessarily don't succumb and don't surrender to the situations. That's what I'm trying to tell. So health problems and expenses are seen with regard to family members, not you, but family members. because Saturn transiting on Pisces retrograde can give you a headache because you are not sleeping, you are working for others, you have to go to the hospital, come back, you have to take the food, the carrier, the box, deliver it and come back, again take children to the school. As you are a middle-aged person, you can go through a lot of difficulties with this particular transit. Students will not go through that much of problem because they feel that there is too much of pressure. They might go through some fever or some anxiety issues, which might give them cough and cold because of the season, which is it is it is going to transit in the season from rainy season to the winter season. So this is not a great time period for all the people, because we are hearing. Now let me come to that later. So keep yourself active as boredom can creep in. So this is generally for transit for all the 12 rashis or the 12 ascendants. We are hearing a news here once again. A strong variant of corona has spread, and I got the news from one of my doctors when I spoke to him yesterday that meetings have been arranged in local health health regulatory bodies, that it's not publicly announced, but there is a strong variant of corona which is spreading around India, and it has come to the South India also. So please be aware of this, because this Saturn retro can put people with health risks. So it's not that I'm predicting that corona is going to come back. No, no, no. It has not come back. It will not come back, and it is not that strong that it will take away unnecessary lives. Not like what happened in 2019 and 20. But there are rumors that corona might again catch up and it might spread. So please be aware of this. And if you are having any cold or any cough or anything like that, use a mask. Nothing wrong. We all know that corona comes, corona goes. It is happening from many years already. It is coming in certain periods of time, particularly after the rainy season and the winter season. And this is when the Saturn is getting retro. And that is why this point is very important for us. And this is for all the Rashis or for all the people across the world. Please be a little careful. Thank you very much for today's class.